fresh meat.
I'm Gimli. Let's break Diablo 2 down to the pixel. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about general requirements for a new map, especially for Project Diablo 2. So to start with, you can check out the wiki page, and in the wiki page there's an extra poll for maps, and when you click it you can see what maps are already in the game and what tier levels they have. So that means the easy ones are tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then you're having some special like dungeons in here which are for group play content usually, and then you have some unique maps which are special maps with special features in there, or yeah, more levels, etc, etc. And what you have also, but it's not listed in here, are kind of special maps for new bosses. So for example, if you fight Lucian, there is a new map for it, the fighting area, and a rewarding map as well after you going to the portals. But for map mapping, we just focus on already existing maps, so you can check out the wiki page. And Borg made a great job to get all the graphics from the existing ones, so you can browse through. Don't care about the monster stats, what they are in here, so it's more about the graphics. So you can just click an image, and then you can also get the image in a big size, and you can see what this image is looking like. So the map, what kind of style this is running, and you can see where you enter the map, where's the map boss, for example, and how does the map looks from pathing and from the graphics as well. So this is a great source to check out. And you can also see that a lot of maps got 2 or more variations of them. So they keep kind of the same theme, but the pathing is a little bit different. So that's just for the player in-game, that they have not always the static same map. So because they are randomly chosen, if you open a map, it will be randomly if you get this one or this one in this example, or for the next map in here you're having 3 variations, or for my map you have also 3 variations. You can see they look kind of similar but always have some different stuff in here. So the pathing is maybe a little bit different, or maybe some side corners are different, but in general speaking, the theme of the map should be the same. But in this case, when you check out this first layout, you're having the entrance on the bottom and the map boss is on top of it. And for the second layout, you're having kind of the same. And for the third layout, for example, you're starting kind of different. So you're starting on the top and the map boss is down here. So you can also mix and match that whatever your map theme is matching. And yeah, make sure to check out, and you can see them, and also maybe play the game in game, so you can check out the graphics as well to get a bit of feeling what graphics are already used by some maps and what are not, and then match this with your idea of your map, and you can see, okay, because it's a bad idea to create a map that kind of looks like similar something is already existing in here. So this will confuse people because the style and areas is kind of similar to what is already in here. So if you want to make some new maps, it's always up to you to create something out of the given graphics already, but to try to get some look and feel a bit different from what is already existing in the original game, as well as on already existing maps in here. And to do so, just a tip from my side, you can maybe use some floors from Act 1 or Act 2, do some recoloring, some special editing maybe, and then use some walls from Act 4 or 5, and then mix up some stuff with maybe newly created ones, and then you can create a kind of pretty new looking map that nobody ever sees before. So yeah, this is just my opinion, but this wiki page is pretty great to check out what is already in there. And speaking about that, the pathing is as well something which you need to take a look at. So for example, River of Blood, this is kind of an helix style map. So you always have your starting point, and maybe you only go when you're starting and run it this way, only go right hand is on the wall side, and then you go always this right path along until the boss, and then stay on the right path and go back, so you don't need to run areas back and forth. So it's kind of a pretty simple way to run this, or you can also choose to just cross each way, whatever you prefer. But this is also a map you can easily run without any big backtracking. Some maps does it have more, some less. So for example, Halls of Torture, which is one of my maps, it's pretty simple. So you start either going left or going right, and then you just run all the way to your boss and then getting back. So it's kind of easy pathing for players. Speaking about more requirements, I've made a short text, so you have already a great idea in your mind. That's super. It's GG. But now try to make it matching for our PD2 requirements. So like I said, take a look what is already existing as maps and in-game, and what graphics are already kind of used to, and try to create something newly that is not one by one exactly what is already in there. So, and this is should important part. So it should, if some random player will open your map and they not experience, oh, this is a new one and something looks different, then yeah, maybe it's not a great map layout. So try to create really some new feelings for the players, and not something they already seen or played before. All right, then some technical stuff. The map size should be around the existing ones. So existing maps are pretty different in sizes, depending on if they are kind of in a rectangular shape or some quadrat stuff, and maybe from the sizes, if they split up in multiple levels, they are having smaller sizes than one big map, etc., etc. But a starting point, you can go with kind of 150 by 150 as a good start, and then you can maybe change to 120 by 200 if you need to, or maybe even enlarge this if you want to. So the map should not be too small and not too big. Otherwise, if it's too small, people just needing on end game like 1 or 2 minutes to get into, that's boring because they need more time to reroll maps. And otherwise, if the map is too big and you need half an hour to run through, that's also not great for people. So try to find the middle way, and you can orient yourself on already existing layouts as a reference. Speaking about that, the corridor size, so that's the area where the people can run on the map, should be wide enough that 8 players can also run this. So don't only focus on solo mapping, try also to have enough space for 8 peoples running with minions in there. So yeah, that's also an intention. Try to avoid small walkables like some stairs from arcanes, for example, or you have some doors you go through. And you try to avoid them, or you need to hardly edit the graphics and make your own graphics and the ini files to get them bigger for a wider space, for example. Or you, if you have doors, for example, just place 2 or 3 doors next to each other, so you're having more areas that people can walk through. All right. Place objects to fit the theme of the map. So there's already objects that you can use in the map editor. So that's animations like fires, candles, whatever, and also other objects, and try to only put in and use them which fits the theme of the map. So it, for example, the frozen barbs using on an Act 2 looks kind of weird. So, and also if you, yeah, use some objects, try to fit the theme of the map, and try to avoid that you overuse them. There's a limited size, I don't know the value, but yeah, you should keep rarely use them, but just to fit the theme of the map, that's fine. The same goes for clickables, so that's all chests, urns, whatever, armories, stand up, etc. Try to avoid to place them hard in it. They will be placed in randomly later with text files. So only place them hard if it fits the position of the map and you need some space filler there. Or for example, the urns, the evil urns are pretty commonly used for maps. You can use that for hardly place them, for example, that they have always the same kind of location in the map. But if you don't want to, you can also control this by the text files and place the evil urns there as well. So, but yeah, try to avoid to place them hard in there. So it's all controlled variant by text files. The map itself should have a kind of organic look and feel. So when we put up this again, you can see there's not many straight lines and rectangular stuff. So if you take a closer look, that's all looks a little bit of organics from the wall side, etc., etc. So this it's not like a stairway to heaven or something like that, just a straight line to the boss. So you're having a little bit more of randomness and feels kind of more natural and organic to play through. Speaking of maps, if you have your first map kind of ready, you need to have 2 or 3 variations of that. So speaking of that, like I already mentioned, some maps have 2 layers, some have 3. Try to get as well 2 or 3 different map layouts that got the same theme but looks a little bit different to run in game. So this is also some variation in the maps. Make sure you always test your graphics in game and not only in the map editor. So that's why you should use my starting point, so you can start with that and use it in game already as testing point. So because some graphics looks in game a little bit different than in the map editor, especially the groups which are variants of each other. So make sure to always check this in game if your map is working as intended and it looks like intended. Speaking about testing, you always try to fix spots where monsters can spawn outside of the map, so players can't reach them. That's always annoying. So try to fix this. You can fix this by deleting maybe wrong place titles, or maybe set up the settings that nothing else can walk and spawn there. And also try to fix spots where people can't walk. They blocked by something like a hidden wall or whatever, or maybe the ini file of a floor title is set up wrongly and players can't walk through it. So that's always something you need to address in here as well. Then you should also avoid to have the ability to shorten the way. So that means, for example, if you have a Sorg and she can teleport over some walls in between the regular path of the map, you should avoid that by placing them wide enough or far apart of each other, because it should not be able to farm the boss like in 20 seconds or something just by skipping the way and teleporting, something like that. So try to address this as well. Like already mentioned of backtracking, people like easy routes. They want to shut their brain off and just run the map straight away and don't keep out some stuff they maybe lose because of they didn't pay attention where they are running. So yeah, try to create easy routes for the gamers. And that's optional. You can have different levels of your map. So for example, when you're having the first map boss killed, you can go to another level and further move on there, or a third stage, whatever you prefer. That's made by warping. But for your first map creation, I would suggest skip this part and just make a pure map where you enter and have the boss and nothing, not any levels you can swap between. But it's not only needed, but in the first stage I want to recommend don't use these levels. So just keep it clean and simple. In addition, when you have already your third or second map layout ready and everything is bug fixed and done, that's great. And at this point, the last part is you can now try to create your own map boss as monster. So there's also some AI documentation about that. And then you try to pick an already existing monster or maybe create a new one. This is a more advanced part. Um, but the easy part is pick a monster that already exists in the game and then just size it up and giving a new name and giving new skills and abilities, etc., etc. And then try to play a little bit around with some values and stuff like that. And then you can also test this in game, and you see what does the map boss monster does. So this is also a pretty funny part of the map making, but make sure you don't forget about that in the last part. If you're not familiar with that, you can always ask for help in Discord. Other map makers or Senpai even himself even can help you out on this. But this is also an addition. Don't forget about that in the end. All right, that's some kind of rules that you need to address if you want to make a map for PD2. Um, and as always, if you're not sure, try to ask in the map editing check in our Discord. People will help you in there as well, or give you some tips or hints what you can address on yourself.